So I'm sure everybody's heard about Satanic Panic.
Satanic Panic.
But do you know what it is exactly?
Do you know how it started?
How it began?
Do you know why we panicked for the Satanic? No, that was bad.
We panic, but why? Did
Why
we really
did it
need to
happen?
panic? I mean...
Absolutely not. So we're going to talk about it. Ready? Set.
Let's go.
That was creepy.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Ash.
And I'm Lynn.
And this is Only If You Can Keep Up
I'm going to stop doing that.
with the creepiness.
Yes, I can't help it.
Is it because we're talking about satanic?
Maybe. But
Okay.
satanic stuff.
Okay, first we're going to
isn't
start with nothing about this is actually satanic.
Right.
There's absolutely nothing that is 100% satanic in the Satanic Panic. It's people thought. It's all thoughts and memories.
Misconception.
Exactly. So we're not going to spend an entire hour talking about Satan. That is not what this is by any means. We're going to talk about how it started, what people did,
how things were perceived, where the idea came from.
All of that stuff. So we're actually going to start with a little bit of a definition, but not a definition because there's no actual definition of Satanic Panic because we invented it.
Yeah.
We just invented it.
It was more of a phenomenon, I guess.
Literally. It's just moral panic.
Yeah.
And it actually consisted of over 12,000 cases.
Over 12,000 false accusations.
False accusations, yes.
People were...
None of them were... Not one of the accusations were proven true.
Right.
Think about that. 12,000 cases that had went to court, that had went to trial, that had a following behind it. 12,000. And not one of them was proven true.
Just crazy how they spent all that time and stress and money over...
Oh my gosh. Okay, it actually started, the beginning of it, bunny quotes, is 1980. That is the year it is said to have actually started.
What they actually call the Satanic Panic.
It's from 1980 to 1990, right?
I think into the mid-90s maybe.
Was it the mid-90s? I don't
thinking.
remember the last year. What was that? Oh, it's a car.
But
I have the windows open and birds are chirping and chickens are crowing.
A little nature for y'all.
It started with a simple book called Michelle Remembers.
Yeah.
A book. It was actually about a practice of recovered memory therapy that made crazy claims about satanic ritual abuse. So what this means is the main character, she went to her psychiatrist, and her psychiatrist did all these crazy things to recover her memory.
She initially went because she had a miscarriage or something.
It's something simple.
She was going for something like that.
Yes,
but
and the therapist got into her brain,
trying to recall repressed memories.
Exactly, literally. And somehow, I don't know, I don't think it was on purpose, but somehow, her psychologist made her believe she was abused by the Church of Satan.
Yeah.
That's what it came from. She was in...
It's maybe she had some type of abuse and it was altered through this therapy somehow.
I don't know. But this book was 100% marketed as truth.
Mm-hmm.
When it came out and all these people started reading it, they marketed it. This girl who wrote this book, because it was about her and her family and her life. She played that she was victimized by the Church of Satan.
Right.
100%. They did this to me. They did that to me. It was horrible, but I came out alive. Blah, 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 blah. Every single claim was false.
Yeah.
They did investigations. Because you write a book about this stuff, you should probably go in and see what the fuck's going on about this Church of Satan, right? Nothing was claimed as right. Nothing. What is that noise?
I don't know.
It's fine. It's probably one of my animals. They're everywhere. Nothing was true. So this book came out. After the book came out, allegations started to rise slowly about people who were also abused by the Church of Satan.
Yeah.
It's
all
just
these stories start coming out.
It's what's it called whenever one thing happens and it's domino effect.
Yeah.
Domino effect. Right. Okay.
It just mass hysteria almost. Everybody starts thinking they're having these, I don't know,
satanic rituals performed on them in their sleep or at night. They would kidnap them or I don't even...
And I'm not saying this never happens. I'm sure it has happened before. But these stories were just it was like mass hysteria. They start telling these stories and everyone starts thinking, I've been through that too.
Yeah. And then And then that was in 1980, right? So the allegations were starting with people all over the place. And this spread. This was not just the United States.
Right.
This was all the fuck over the
Yeah.
place. This was countries
Yeah.
worth. Okay. Then in 1983, the McMartin Preschool Trial happened.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to go super deep into this. I'm going to give a quick summary. If you want to look this up, you can. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. And trigger warning, there is talk of child abuse right now.
Yeah.
It was all discredited,
there
though.
was a lot of that
So, okay.
during this time.
It
that
all
they
started,
thought.
it all started with a mother. Her name was Judy Johnson. She was a mom. She claimed that one of her children that went to the McMartin daycare had told her that he was sexually abused by the teacher there named Ray Buckley. That Ray Buckley did crazy things to him. Like, when I say insane, like, they said, the little boy said that Ray flew through walls. And he would take him with him. There was a bunch of weird encounters with animals. Apparently, this is what this little boy said. There was so much more, that Ray would throw him against the wall, that Ray would do this and this and this to him. But that's...
Like he had superhuman powers.
Literally, like he was a superhuman. He was actually questioned and then he was released. Because the things he said was not of a sexual nature in general.
Yeah.
It was more crazy claims, like he flew on brooms.
Yeah.
Or he flew through the walls. Or, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. There was no evidence to support this at all. Obviously, kids don't fly. But this mother fucking pushed it.
Yeah.
She pushed that her son was being abused by this man.
I mean, I guess I can see
Hold
her
on.
side.
No, hold on.
With
Okay, the police felt obligated to send a letter to every member, previous and past, of the daycare, to the parents. Over 200 letters were sent out.
Right.
You can actually go on Google and read the letter. It literally just says, your child possibly could have been abused by Ray Buckley. Please ask your child if they have ever been abused. Ask all the questions, please, and let us know immediately. And it also says, like, you cannot go to the press about this. Do not spread this around town. You know what I mean? In bigger words that are better like that. But every single family member, past or present, of this daycare got this letter. Parents went fucking apeshit. Of course, everyone's child had a new fucking story.
Yeah.
Of course.
There were like hundreds of accusations
Literally.
that came up after that.
I think it ended up with over 300 accusations total.
Gosh.
About this school. Like, literally. They started child interviews because, you know, we got to interview the kids. A lot of parents didn't want their kids interviewed. A lot of them did. The questions and the interviews in general, you can actually go and read scripts of, like, what was said and who said what and who said how. They were insane. Absolutely insane. Tunnels. One child swore on everything that Chuck Norris is the one that abused him. Oh my God. He believed it to his soul.
I've not heard that.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Stuff like that. Like, it's not true. Like, Chuck Norris is not at this daycare abusing children in any way. Tunnels. The tunnels under the daycare.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
I'm not saying there's not tunnels under the daycare, but
Right.
apparently the kids were taken down to the tunnels and they would fly back up through the floor.
Wow.
Stuff like that. Like, stuff that's like...
Makes you wonder if there was some kind of, like, gas leak or
I was
something.
going to say some kind
them...
of a psychedelic thing
yeah.
going on versus that.
Because I know I had read that there were supposed rituals held under the tunnels, the cemeteries near the school.
Yeah,
like...
there's stuff about the cemeteries that the children would all go to the cemetery every day and they would have to run around the graves and do something. I didn't go full into detail on this story because this is not what this is about. There was actually a man named Michael Maloney. He had to review all of the child interviews to see who they wanted to go into court. Because this went to trial. There were 2 separate trials on this. He reviewed every single child interview. And he completely concluded that the therapists, the psychologists that were there doing the interviews 100% generated what the children said. You've got to think, these are 3 to 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
So it was
what
things
was
like...
their motive for that? Why did they...
Because we're all freaking out because we all now think that Satan is getting us. You know what I mean? So what they would be like, okay, Johnny, so you flew up through the floor, right? Yeah. Did you bust through real hard? Yeah, it was like that. You know what I mean? Like generating the
young
answers.
child in their imagination, you hear something and you see it in your mind and you're going to go with it.
So it's completely generated by the adults, correct? The trial actually ran from 1984 to 1990.
Wow. And they had it. I mean, this was like national broadcast.
Oh,
They,
this
like
was everywhere.
2020 ran
Everywhere.
specials.
So you have to think
mainstream
of all
media.
these people all over the world
Yeah.
watching this at home.
They would
thinking,
have children come on and tell their stories. They would
Exactly.
like mass
Yes.
media or
Yes.
like mainstream stuff.
Yes, like all these people around the world are seeing that Satan has literally just taken over this school, and we're believing it.
Yeah.
We're believing that these children flew through walls and that Mr. Ray flew on a broom to the cemetery, and we are 100% fucking believing it. Okay? And like I said, all charges from this were 100% dropped. Nobody was accused of anything because nothing happened.
It's kind of like the Salem witch trials, only they actually had the
yes, that's
the
another mass
resources
hysteria
to prove it wrong.
Judy Johnson, the actual lady that started this whole fucking thing, she was actually diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia.
Oh.
And she died in 1986 before the trial ended from severe alcoholism.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's what started it. This schizophrenias aren't crazy, but she's obviously not medicated, and she's drinking excessively.
Yeah. So
she's gonna have thoughts and see
claims,
things.
maybe the child didn't even say anything in the beginning.
A lot of the children's claims are done by adults. Like I said, we put the words in the kid's mouth, and all they have to do is say, yes, that happened, and then it is taken to a whole new level.
Yeah.
The child doesn't say, yes, we did this, and we did. The parent or the adult says that, and the kid agrees.
Right. Because initially, okay, my kid comes to me and tells me they're being hurt. I'm going to freak out and go crazy. But now I see if she had something going on, maybe he didn't even say that in the first place.
Apparently there's reports of her insane things that had nothing to do with this exact thing. Like she seemed a little cray cray, just a little bit, just a little cray cray. So after this trial had started and we're broadcasting it all over the world lost their fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like I am talking about
this is when it really blew up. And
their shit.
This is when it was on all the talk show. Oprah, remember Donahue and Geraldo and all those big
100%. And the psychologists that were on these shows and that talked to these people, like I said before, even to adults, it spread from children to adults. Adults would then say, I was abused by the Church of Satan. I was taken into a blood sacrifice and they took my blood and they did all of these things to me. The psychologist would give them the memories. Mm-hmm. They would literally be like, okay,
implant the memories.
I'm going to set the scene for you. You're in a dark room.
And there's the thing with
they would tell them what they believed, and then they truly fucking believed it.
And it's like there's movies about like hypnosis where they can, they put you in a hypnotic state and they can actually almost insert memories into your brain.
And what it most likely is these people, the people all over the world, the people who came forward and said these things, almost all of them, maybe not all of them, but almost all of them had something horrible happen to them.
Yeah. So there was probably repressed trauma.
Maybe they were beaten up by their husband, or they were raped, or something did happen to them, and they needed an excuse as to why it happened to them. Yeah. You got to think, we're in the fucking 80s. We are not here today. This is not what we have. We do not have social media. We do not have Google to look stuff up.
Right.
So the only explanation is it had to be a satanic ritual. Right. Because we put that into so many people's fucking heads.
When the truth is that some humans are just evil without
Literally.
Satanism.
Exactly. Okay, so why is this just hitting all of a sudden like a motherfucker? In the 80s, it hit, that book came out, this preschool thing, now the world is losing their ever so mind. We have to go back to see the forward.
Because even though this started, quote, Satanic Panic started in the 80s, the idea of it goes back further.
Like the 60s, literally. So we started with certain movies. Yeah. I mean, we didn't start. That's part of it. The Exorcist came out. The Omen came out. That was the 70s. So these people, these holy, loving, living Christian people, see a movie like The Exorcist or The Omen. They're already on the verge of holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we had before the movies, we had the 1969 Tate LaBianca murders by Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Cult leader. That happened in 69.
So cult stuff was becoming big.
Cult was a thing, and then a few years later these movies came out.
Yeah.
So we have it in our head already that Satan is a part.
These ideas of like, oh my God, somebody can actually be possessed. Somebody can actually run a cult. Like this has to be Satan. It has to be Satan.
Right.
And of course this is right after the actual Church of Satan, like actual Satanism was formed.
Right.
Back in 1966, Anton LaVey, who actually found the Church of Satan, and I'm just going to say real quick, I probably should have said this before. Any Satanists that are listening, we know that Satanism is not, the actual Satanism, and I don't know a lot about it, but from what I understand, I've met Satanists who are very kind people. I've done a little research on it. I've watched stuff on it, documentaries and stuff. From what I understand, most of them, they actually just practice like non-conformity. It's about free will. It's about personal liberation. It's about going against the grain. So most of them are not bad people.
There is the select few that are horrible.
There are.
But there's also a select few Christians that are horrible. It's just like in any genre, within anything, there is the good and there is the bad.
Exactly.
Okay?
And a lot of Satanists actually have roots in Christianity, and they kind of are going against the traditional Christianity. So a lot of them don't even believe in a hell or a devil. They use Satan more as like a metaphor for rebelling against traditional Christianity. Right. So you've got a lot of people who are Satanists. They worship, but they are Satanists, but they don't actually worship Satan. But it's more of a metaphor. There are actual forms of it where they worship Lucifer or whatever. There are few that do that. But
there's branches of everything.
Branches of everything. But Satanism in itself is not what they all thought it was. They all thought that if you were a Satanist, you worshiped the devil, you did rituals, you did animal mutilation, human sacrificing, abuse, that kind of stuff, that you were working with Satan. But that is not true about most Satanists. Most of them are good people who are just about free will and whatever.
Right.
But that goes back to the whole Christianity thing, that a lot of these people making these accusations were devout Christians. They were very strong in their faith, which is strange because right around that time, and we're getting into, this was like 1978. If you haven't heard of the Jonestown Massacre, and I won't go too deep into this.
It's another cult.
Yeah, I'd like to do an episode on this later, but we get into the cult stuff. We had Charles Manson in 69?
69, yeah.
And then we get into, this is right after the forming of Satanism, the actual religion.
So when did the religion form? I forgot what.
In 1966 is when
so about
the Church of Satan was founded.
So 10, 15 years later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 1978, I believe. This is when Jim Jones, who was a reverend, mind you, this was a Christian. He had a large following, like over 900 people. And the media started giving him a lot of crap. Like he just, I don't know, like his extreme ways, his extreme views. So I guess he ended up moving his people. I won't go too far into detail, but the whole point is if you've never heard of the Jonestown Massacre or you've ever heard the phrase, don't drink the Kool-Aid, that's where it comes from. He literally laced, it was Flavor Aid, not Kool-Aid, but he laced it with cyanide.
Specifics.
And he
killed them all.
He not only killed them, but it was a mass suicide. He made them believe that they were supposed to drink this. They knew. They knew what they were doing, but they followed him and wholeheartedly believed this cult leader, this Christian reverend cult leader. And over 900 people died. Mass suicide.
I'd like to know how that went then. Like, so were the diehard Christians like, he was part of the Satanism?
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, how does that...
That's where I get confused, because so many of these are... And then they're like, okay, well, maybe he's not part of our... But I don't get it.
They had to have believed that this was part of the Satanic... Like, because it was such a big...
Maybe he's a liar, he's not really a Christian. I don't know what they thought.
There's so many cults that go so deep into...
But that's just the point, that you can be a cult leader and a horrible fucking person and have nothing to do with Satanism. Actually... think you're a Christian, so you may think you're doing what Jesus wants you to do. I don't know.
Right.
The point is just that it doesn't matter your religion. There's evil people out there, no matter what. So, but yeah, that gets into around the time of they start really accusing stuff like big companies and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big.
Like was it? I think it was 1978. McDonald's.
Oh, I didn't know about McDonald's.
They came at McDonald's because they thought that
the Golden Arches were haunted.
They thought the Golden Arch was some kind of association with Satanism. I don't know. And they Ronald McDonald and all that. So like they
his red hair.
It got so bad that the franchise founder felt compelled to publicly announce, like, we are not associated with the Church of Satan. Blah blah blah. Ray Kroc, I think, was that they were not financially supporting the Church of Satan.
The claims, like, there's so many more. Like, I'm going to go over a few too. But, like, McDonald's, like, they've got French fries and cheeseburgers, but we're not going to go there because Satan is associated with him. Make it make sense to me. I guess
they thought that, like, the food was tainted, like,
I
Satan
don't
food.
have that mindset. Like, people would boycott one of the few fast food restaurants, because we're in the 70s and 80s, we don't have a McDonald's on every corner, and a Wendy's and a Hardee's.
Choices.
Exactly. So we had them, but it was far and few in between.
Right.
We're going to call, because what happened was one human went there and got mad.
Yeah.
Got mad at whatever, their order wasn't right, because we all know McDonald's do be fucking shit up. And now you're a part of the Church of Satan, and
right?
we fucking hate you, and we're going to call you out on satanic rituals and all that fucking shit. I'm
going to call Oprah and tell her that my cheeseburger's got the devil in it. That's
exactly.
actual devil's
and
lettuce.
Then they did. They actually fucking did
right?
it. Okay, so Procter and Gamble.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Their logo, though, did you go look it up? Because
the 13 stars. Well, they don't use it anymore.
It's a moon. It's like a crescent moon with a face, and there are 13 stars around it.
I could see how someone would think it's something. I don't know.
Okay, they changed it because of this. They completely fucking changed it because they were associated with the devil.
It's the mark of the devil, right? And 13 stars.
The theme song to Mr. Ed.
Yeah.
Remember the horse that was like,
yes.
He talked? Someone had claimed there was a backwards hidden message within the words of the theme song.
And that was a big thing with the backwards stuff.
Okay, are you ready? It says in the song, a horse is a horse. But the claim was, he said, the source is Satan.
Oh, wow. I've not heard the Mr. Ed one. But I know they said there was a lot of them. If you play backwards, subliminal messaging would have some type of satanic message.
Have you ever seen Little Nicky?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's like, let's play this backwards. Like, yes. Satan is life. We love.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's literally knocking.
Well, I know there was
Satanic
a lot
Panic.
of. Was it like Led Zeppelin maybe? And there was a few of them that they say if you play backwards.
Yeah.
But I think that came from. So I won't talk too much about Aleister Crowley. If you want to hear more about him, go back to our Halloween episodes. But Aleister Crowley, famous 20th century occultist. Okay, this is way before. He actually advised that you could train yourself to think backwards by learning to speak backwards. Like even listening to, back then it would have been like phonograph records that you could teach yourself. So I think a lot of that was based in like his works and findings and the reversed. So a lot of people, of course, with the Church of Satan being fairly new and all these like hidden messages. And because I remember when I was little, people saying like, oh, when you watch Aladdin or you watch this or that, like
Aladdin.
there's all this.
Only good kids take off their t-shirts. No, only good teenagers take off their t-shirts.
Yes, and it wasn't always satanic stuff, but like dirty messages or sex symbols.
They're called subliminal messages. That is what they're actually like.
Subliminal messaging.
Yes,
and I fully believe that they use that in advertisement for all kinds of stuff.
Do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But people took it as far as they're sending devil messages through, especially heavy metal. Heavy metal was the number one. There were two bands that people insisted stood for this shit. AC/DC. Okay, we all know who the fuck AC/DC is. Don't matter who you are. Even you youngins out there. You know who AC/DC is. They said it stood. It stood for Antichrist, Devil, Child.
Wow, I've never heard that.
Literally, okay?
My mom was she still is a big AC/DC fan.
And then KISS.
Yeah.
KISS stood for Knights in Satan's Service.
Wow, I've never heard that.
That is what they wholeheartedly believe.
Wow. I mean, I can see Gene Simmons and the tongue and the makeup, like why they would be freaked out by it. I love that those acronyms became, that's hilarious actually.
Right.
I know, I remember them saying Led Zeppelin. I remember Rolling Stones, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, of course. I mean, that makes sense. He's fucking psychotic.
Right.
I mean, I can see.
He's crazy.
They're picking these bands. Okay, we're getting into heavy dark music. We're getting into like death metal type stuff.
If you honestly listen to some of, not all of it, but if you listen to some of the music, they go dark.
Yeah.
They do talk about Satan and they do talk about that stuff.
And maybe some of them were dabbling in stuff back then, but people didn't understand what you don't know, you don't understand, especially when you're very Christian. You don't understand that Satanism doesn't mean that you actually worship the devil.
Why do all these people feel like they deserve
right.
to harm other people.
Right.
Essentially. Now, if something is actually happening, obviously, fucking take it to someone.
Yeah.
But you're just listening to a song. Don't listen to the song.
Right, just choose to not listen.
And if you don't want your kids to listen to it, tell them not to. Like, I mean, I know that's a little harder than easier, especially with teenagers, but anyway.
Yeah.
Another big thing. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Listen, I have my entire life always wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons. It looks fucking fascinating.
My kids play it.
Can I play with them?
They would absolutely fucking love that.
They would have to teach me everything.
I don't have to pay. I love imagination.
Like the storyline.
You can literally do whatever. It is fun, but it takes so long sometimes. Like, I'm like, okay, guys, I got stuff to do. I'm so sorry. Have your dad take my place.
I have to come stay the night or something.
It is fun. They would absolutely fucking love that. They collect dice and everything. Like, oh yeah.
They could just tell me what to do because I would love to play it. But Dungeons and Dragons came out around this time too. It's if you don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is, which some people might not, it's just a role-playing game of fantasy, and there's wizards and warlocks and devils and demons. Actually, I don't think there's a devil.
And pretty much, if you have an imagination, the sky's the limit.
The game is literally for imagination.
Yeah.
There's no board. There are dice. It's your
and
imagination.
Like scripts you can use and things like they have books and things of like ideas you can use to go off of, but pretty much you're using your imagination.
But there's a lot of magic.
Yes,
a lot of magic, and then the bad people, the creatures and stuff, are evil. Essentially,
yeah, because you've got your like elves and dwarves and like all your different creatures.
I wonder if this is like essentially the first. I don't know how I'm trying to say this. Like now. I don't go to the video store because fuck, it's not the 90s, but I buy a game, and within the game, like, there's always a big evil, a big crazy creature I have to fight. I wonder if this is like the original evil boss in games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I don't know of games that are older than this that had that evil... So there was Monopoly, there was that kind of stuff.
Because this was in the late 80s, I guess, when this got really big.
Yeah. I think it came out.
Well, there was like
came out in the mid 80s.
I don't know what year it was, but it was the He-Man and the Snake Mountain playset. They thought that it invoked like demonic imagery.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know if that was a game or an actual like a playset. I don't know.
Okay. Back to Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. A parent of a Dungeon and Dragon player, her son actually, it was this whole big thing. Initially, trigger warning, he ended up committing suicide. But they thought he had, like, run away, right? Into tunnels, tunnels.
He was a college student, right?
Yeah, he was older. He was like 19.
Yeah, they said he was in college. I think they thought that he was really, really smart, but he was, like, feeling the pressure, like he had to keep... And they think that was why he was depressed.
Okay.
And
so he played Dungeons and Dragons with his friends all the time.
Yeah.
So... Initially, he ended up, he killed himself. The mother of this child, of this 19-year-old man, lost it. She blamed everything on the game, took it to the media, took it to the TV shows. She actually started an organization called BADD, BAD.
Yeah, okay. I hadn't heard of that before.
Yes, it's called, it's whatever. It stands for Bothered About Dungeons and Dragons.
Wow.
This went fucking worldwide.
Wow.
Worldwide. Canada, England, Australia, all of them took, like, this one little mother who was pissed because her child just happened to play a game.
Yeah.
But then also happened to be, like, overloaded with school and life in general. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess he, like, went missing, and they actually looked for him. There were tunnels near the college, so they thought he like disappeared down there because of like satanic rituals related to Dungeons and Dragons. Of course, but he actually ran away and killed himself. Yes. I guess is what happened.
He wasn't in the tunnels. The tunnels originate from that preschool.
Yeah,
because the kids said there were tunnels. So
because obviously, if you're doing weird shit, it's got to be underground.
Exactly. So there's tunnels all over the world now because people believe.
And I'm sure there probably are, but
I agree. But that's where like if you want to find a Satanist performing rituals, just find the tunnels.
It's funny because all the Satanists I've met are like the most talkative, like social, like they're out and about doing more than I am.
Exactly. So she founded, not funded, God, she didn't fund anything. She founded this organization. Like I said, it went fucking worldwide. There were angry parents all over the fucking place. They were burning the boards, which, hello. So she stirred up the pot. That pot was just a stewing. That thing was huge. The bad, and I saw where in some places it's still a thing. Like, the game almost got completely banned.
Yeah, a lot of people still hate it. A lot of people still look at it as 100%. A dark evil.
I would love to play it. Like, I think it would be so cool to actually play Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I don't know.
You definitely gotta have patience and the mindset for it.
So
it can be fun though.
I have an imagination, but patience is something I lack 100%.
I guess if it's really interesting and you get people that can move fast enough, but sometimes they're just sitting there thinking and you're like, come on. Of course, I played with little kids, so.
Right. Okay, so the 90s came. 1990 came. 1990, that McMartin Preschool Trial actually ended.
Okay.
It's over. Nobody was convicted. Not one human being was convicted. And like we said earlier, this trial was on national television.
Yeah, it was all over.
You could watch it everywhere. So, all of a sudden, all of these people were watching this, and they're like, wait a minute. No one was... this didn't happen? Satan didn't take my child and do a sacrifice on them in the middle of the night? So people were slowly starting to be like, y'all are fucking nuts.
Yeah.
We got to stop this. Yeah. Essentially, I mean, not those words, but you know what I mean? We were kind of like... And then more things were happening. In the last 10 years, we said this before, 12,000 people had been accused, and not one was guilty. So people are kind of like, yeah, this isn't real. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? They stopped believing. Don't get me wrong. It continued on throughout the 90s.
Yeah, I'm going to say... still some people that...
I'm going to say by like 97, 98, it was completely gone.
Yeah.
You know, we don't think about that.
I remember some people, like, I'd spend the night with some parents, like, we'd do things like those little Mad Libs, like fun...
Like, right.
And we'd do, like, fun games and things like that. We'd watch... some movies we'd watch that were not bad, but I had like friends and stuff that their parents were very Christian. I had family members that were very Christian, not my parents, but other. Right. But they would not let us watch certain movies because it was related to the devil, and that was not God's. You know, so a lot of Christians never fully lost that. Like, and it's still
Right. Okay, so now that this has ended, essentially, not completely, we are starting to see cases coming through of domestic kidnapping, all of those things. And if they had any relation, if the person on the phone was like, it's Satan, they would not investigate. So there were kidnappings, there were abuse, there was all of this stuff going on, and we just didn't care because we no longer believe in Satan. It depended on the person and the town and the group. Obviously, down south, like the southern in America, the Bible Belt is what we call it. Down there. Is that a crow?
Might be blue jays. I can't tell. I'd have to go outside.
I have my windows open and the birds are right out there like, we want to be part of this. Hi, guys. It's not a crow.
They're close, though.
Yeah, there's a thing they sit on right there. They do it. When I do dishes, they scream at me. I throw bread and stuff out the window sometimes.
They're waiting for their snacks.
Okay, anyway, so all of these things are starting to go, it's okay, we don't care. Because we're not
dismissing it.
Exactly, because it's not a thing. But then on the other hand, we have, like I said, down in the Bible Belt, still wholeheartedly believing in the Satanic Panic. 100%. Like, we are still... Satan is there. He's kidnapping our kids in the middle of the night. Or, I guess, the people who worship him. I don't really understand that. People were getting convicted of crimes, actually convicted of crimes, and put in prison for simple things because they wore an AC/DC t-shirt.
Yeah.
Or they listened to that heavy metal music. So we find someone. I have a perfect example. Okay. West Memphis 3 case.
Yeah.
Okay. That's in 1993. This was down in the Bible Belt. I'm pretty sure it was Texas. I could 100% be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
I assumed Memphis was Tennessee, but I don't know.
You're so smart.
I'm just guessing, but that's where I know.
I know that's the case. Memphis I just don't know where it is.
Unless Memphis was a name.
We should really do research on that. Anyway,
we'll do an episode on that sometime.
Agreed. This happened in 1993. So we're to the point of like, we're not doing that anymore, but we are doing that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Damien Eccles.
Yeah.
Brief West Memphis 3. Children were murdered. I'm going to do this very brief. If you know the case, you know the case. Children were murdered. We have to figure out who did it. The sheriff literally was like, that boy there is interested into the occult. Let's speak to him.
Yeah.
Damien Eccles was his name, and his group of misfits.
Misfitting was his game.
Literally.
He dressed like the devil, so he was...
He listened to the music, he had the tattoos, and he had like evil
he had,
or
like,
devil.
Evil across his fingers.
He wore the chains on his clothes. They fucking convicted these kids.
This teenager who's just rebelling and trying
once again, there is so much more to this case. I really want to do an episode on it one day. If not, look it up. They convicted that they looked for no one else. They looked for no one else. They convicted this kid and his buds, his peoples, in 1994. And in 2011, they released him because they fucking realized we were wrong.
So all those years, what was it, like 18 years?
He was in prison.
And one of the boys was even on death row.
Yeah, because he was into the occult. So he had to have done it.
Gosh.
Stuff like that was happening. Like, it was literally either we don't believe in this shit anymore, or oh my God, you wear black, we're gonna convict you of murdering children.
Yeah.
When he was nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it.
How terrible to spend all that time. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And he's the one they based the Eddie Munson from Stranger Things off of.
Right. I mean, I don't know how to feel about that because I really like Eddie.
Oh, I do too. Mm-hmm. I love Eddie. I think everybody loves Eddie. But yeah.
Right.
But he had that stigma. Everybody thought he was horrible, and he was just a, he was just a teenager.
Kid. So we were convicting people, and we weren't looking for the actual killers or the murderers or the rapists or the whatever, because we would point to that one kid in town, that one man, that one woman in town who listened to AC/DC or who had a tattoo on their arm. We're going to convict you and not look for the real one. Can you imagine how many crimes went unsolved?
Right.
How many people still to this day, because they,
just judged by appearance.
We don't know what happened or who it actually was because we're going to go for that person. And you're over here questioning the occultist, and your guy's already 3 states over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and how, I mean, that's a time when kids were starting to rebel and wear different things and dress different. And
especially
rock
the 90s.
Music was getting so good.
Grunge was 90s, literally. So it's...
And I know this, like we said, it's kind of a spectrum. You either dismiss it, you're like, oh, it never really happened, or you're extreme with it. And I don't know that it ever fully went away, that fear, that conspiracy, but it has come back more.
I think it went away for a while.
I think it calmed down a lot. I want
to say, like, the early 2000s, we were kind of, like, chill. And you know what I mean? Like, we didn't, you do you. That's kind of when the whole you do you started. We're not going to judge you, which I'm grateful. But now we're back.
I'd say the last probably 6 or 7 years, it has gotten, again, to where everything is so extremely judged. Conspiracies are big, especially with all the media. We've got all the social media now on top of the mainstream
social media, I think, is the big
and then it gets political, it gets religious, and you've still got your very extreme people who believe that there are still... And I'm not saying it's not happening. I don't know. It could be. I don't know.
What tunnels with
people thinking that,
I'm going to go find a tunnel and just be like, hey.
And yes, I am sure there are people out there doing some kind of rituals.
We're not talking about them, though.
I'm sure there are people out there doing stuff that is dark. There are bad people out there.
It's not people all over the world that's going to kidnap you in your sleep. They do it by themselves in the privacy of their home, doing what they want to do.
I'm not saying there's not people kidnapping and doing weird things or doing weird things to their own kids, people who are into dark ritual. I'm sure it happens, but a lot of the conspiracies now are very tied into, there's stuff with Hollywood, there's stuff with the famous people, there's stuff with all these ideas of, who does what and how. I won't go into that too much, but I have a lot of on that. But now you've got, especially very religious people are against things like movies. Yeah, like kids' movies. Like when the new Hocus Pocus came out. I remember my Facebook feed was full of Christian moms flipping out. Like, this is horrible. Like, you can't let your kids watch it. Like, people thought that they could cast spells through the TV and, like, brainwash your kid. And when that movie Onward came out, my kids, I loved that.
That's a good movie.
I don't know if whoever hasn't seen it. There's a couple Pixar movies that got a lot of conspiracies and chaos over it. But Onward was one, they're using magic.
It's because it's magical.
Yeah, their dad dies. They try to resurrect. They try to bring him back through magic. And a lot of people would not let their kids watch it. It wasn't even banned in some countries.
Are you serious?
I think it was more because they had lesbians in it. That was a big thing too, because they had a couple that was a lesbian couple on there. Because Disney, Pixar was trying to be more.
So when did that come out, though?
It's been a few years.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
But some countries, I think some countries banned it. But it was a good movie. I loved it.
It was a cute movie.
But they had a lot of the magical creatures, elves and centaurs and things like that. But people thought that, it was
I thought it was a big thing because of the resurrection of the father. I thought that is why people lost their shit, because that was all over my Facebook page. Like, oh my God, we can't let our children watch it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I see where you see that, but it's also a sad, heartfelt movie.
Yes,
like, they miss him so much. It's not...
Yeah.
Don't read so deep into it.
Yeah.
It's what I think we do. We read between the lines too much sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And sometimes it's as simple as, like, most innocent shows. Like, when my middle child was little, she watched Sophia the First all the time. Obsessed with Sophia.
What was it?
Sophia the First.
Oh, yeah. So
cute.
did both of them.
Super cute. Loved it. But there were people who thought that was evil witchcraft. Because
why?
Mm-hmm. Because of witchcraft. Yeah.
Because she's magical?
Because witches work with the devil. Yeah. Because she's magical. Sorry, I'm having headphone malfunctions. Okay, there we go. Okay. But yeah, Sophia the First. Because she does magic. Yeah. It's ridiculous. There's a lot of stuff like that. And so it's never... I'd say it got calmer for a long time.
Well, I heard a bunch of stuff on TikTok about Deadpool and Wolverine.
Really?
Like that.
I've
it's
not heard
like
that.
some not necessarily even parents, because there was the whole "don't take your child to see this," bitch. Have you seen Deadpool at all? Don't take your child to see it. If your child is under the age of, like, I'm gonna say 13, they probably shouldn't be watching Deadpool anyway, unless, like, you do what I do and you find, like, the G version that doesn't say the things.
And you know, like, the parts that fast forward through.
Exactly. That's what we do. But, like, I don't let my little one watch it.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have... I'm also going to not take my child to see the fucking Exorcist.
Right.
Because, hello. Like, you just don't do that. We've got those people. But then we got the people that's like, oh my gosh, there's so much devil work in it. And I would never... We walked out of the theater and it's like...
And you hear that about so many things. So many movies and performances nowadays. Like... Everything's got symbolism and everything's satanic and everything's... And I don't know.
Maybe it is and we're just all oblivious.
I mean, I just don't know anymore.
I don't
even know if I care.
I'm just going to stick in my bubble. I'm going to chill in my bubble and, like, just be here.
Yeah.
Okay, with my
As long
animals.
as no one comes after me for my black band shirts and my witchcraft.
As long as nobody takes me to the tunnels and sacrifices me, I'll be fine. Actually...
Shit, I'm the one in the tunnels doing... No, I don't do sacrifices, but... I mean, if people come up... I don't do tunnels, but if I had a tunnel, I'd be down there doing my witchcraft.
I feel like...
It would never hurt anyone.
I wouldn't be down in the tunnels just because it's probably, like, stinky and gross.
No, that's true.
So, like, I would probably
But if I had, like, an
there.
underground witchcraft room, that'd be fucking awesome, dude.
I would like an underground room, like, in case a tornado came.
Yeah, like a bunker.
That'd be great.
But also, I could, like, do my cool witch stuff down there.
No, I would just want to be safe in there. Like,
except I burn a lot of stuff.
Like, you
that
need
wouldn't
sun
be safe.
and wind and earth.
You kind of need oxygen if you're lighting
we're not
incense and things.
Okay, so we panicked for no reason. Essentially, that's what this whole episode's about.
Satanic,
like, and
panic.
I know some people are going to be like, "Oh my god, these people didn't believe it was real." No, it wasn't. I'm sorry. If you actually go in and do research, no one was fucking accused of satanic rituals. Yeah. Not one single case.
I'm not saying there weren't kids that were abused, or I'm not saying that there weren't
there were
weird sacrifices done at some time.
I think the problem is people were abused, people were getting hurt, and like I said before, we needed to blame something.
Yeah, they needed a reason.
Why all of a sudden are these kids being abused? No, it's just coming forward because you're asking them questions and they're agreeing.
Yeah,
and we had to blame someone, and of course the diehard Christians. We always blame Satan. It's literally all it is something they do not agree with.
And they don't understand, so they're scared of it.
They do not understand. And I understand back then we couldn't do research. Yeah. All we knew is word of mouth.
Yeah.
We did not know how to do research.
The mainstream media is what we had, and what we heard we believed.
Now, I'm going to challenge people out there, whoever listens, do some research. If you feel so die hard about something along these lines, don't go to Google because it doesn't do it right.
Check your sources
and
compare.
DuckDuckGo.com. Once again, DuckDuckGo.com. It is not monitored. They can put whatever they want on there. What I'm saying is the articles are more real. You can find them easier. It's actual people with experiences, that kind of stuff. Do some research. Yeah. Do some research of the side you're so opposed on.
Yeah.
And then make your decision. And if you still feel that way, right the fuck on. You. Let's not spread it to the world.
I have both sides with it. Like, I understand.
I see it too.
Because, like, as a child, I went to church with friends. Like, my parents weren't real religious or anything, but I go to church a lot with friends. And I remember as a small child, and this was without knowing all the Satanic Panic stuff. I didn't realize what was going on. Because you were so little. But yeah, when I was young, I'd say it started about 7 or 8. I have OCD, okay? And I don't talk about this often, but I had a serious fear of the devil. Like, a serious fear. Like, made me almost sick sometimes. I was so worried about going to hell, so worried about the devil. I had a lot of, I would say, like, religious kind of trauma from the church putting all these stories in our head.
Right.
And my mom would calm me down. She'd talk me through it and blah, blah, blah. And I had older cousins and friends that would, taunt me and give me shit over it. And I think that made it worse. And now maybe that kind of is why I strayed away from the church so much as an adult. And I still have beliefs from it, I still, whatever. But I don't go to church anymore. And I do follow my own path. And I think a lot of that is because
you were traumatized by Satan.
So much fear was instilled in me.
See.
And I look back and, like, I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that fear.
I don't either.
I do fully believe there are evil people out there doing evil things.
But I also believe it doesn't matter your religion.
Exactly.
At all.
Exactly. That's all my point is.
An evil human is an evil human. Exactly. It doesn't matter if you're Christian, Catholic, Satanist.
And I'm big on conspiracies, okay? Like, I will talk about conspiracies all day long.
We did decide you are officially a conspiracy theorist within this podcast. So I don't think I am.
I will humor some of the, like, a lot of the stories going around, a lot of the things they say about certain people, certain things that are being done. I won't go into them
I'm not saying that's true or not. It's just, it's impelling. It's interesting to learn about. I'm not going to scream one way or the other.
I know they talk about, lists that are going to come out and things that are, I do not doubt that.
I don't want to know.
There were going to be things coming out. I know
don't
that.
want to know.
But also, I kind of like being oblivious.
I would rather just not know. Just do what you got to do, and that's great. So here's my fun story as a child. I did not go. My family was not religious either. I went to church with a friend because, to stay the night at their house on Saturday night, you had to go to church on Sunday morning.
I think that's what a lot of my things were too.
I think I would sit back in the back and roll my eyes because I just could never. I was never the person who could wrap my head around that stuff, and that's my story. I'm sorry. But then, like, you're with the church kids. And I went to church camp. I went to the 2 weeks down south. You know what I mean? I did all that shit with my friend who went. And, like, people would, like... I thought I was a badass, okay? Like, I was this little rebel. I was the one climbing the trees to get the apple on the top. Shit I shouldn't have been doing. Not bad. Like, I've never hit anybody in my life. You know what I mean? It was never fights. It was just like, you want that apple? I'd climb that fucking tree and I'd get that apple. But, like, they'd be like, Satan's gonna get you. You've got an attitude.
And you'd be like, come get me.
And I was like, bring him on, bro. Like,
I could see that.
So I never really, I don't know. I needed
more of that. I should have found you sooner.
Well, you should have found me sooner because I was at the top of the apple tree down south.
By the time I got to junior high and high school, by the time I met you, I was past that, and I was starting to realize, none of this really makes sense.
I think we were in 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
Okay, somewhere in 8th grade is when
And I still went to church, like youth groups and stuff with friends, but I had gotten to a point where I was like, I don't believe everything they're saying, and none of it really...
I did it probably 5th, 6th, and 7th grade. And then I was like, no. And then that feeling, I had went so much with them. They're like, come on, why aren't you coming? I'm like, my mom won't let me. When it was not my mother, it was me. I was done.
Yeah. I church hopped. I did it on my own. I go with this friend, then I go with that friend, because I never quite felt like I fit in, and I never felt like any of it made sense. Even as a small child, I remember, like, this doesn't feel right. I should feel safe here. I should feel happy here. And I never really found a church that made me feel like that.
Right.
And so, like, in high school, I found one I really liked. I liked the people, and that was probably the calmest, most supportive one I had. But then as an adult, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, and I don't have to do this anymore. Yeah. And that's when I found the dark.
It's not dark, though. You found nature,
the dark side.
Literally.
Exactly.
Quote,
nature, energy.
Right.
Nature and energy and magic. Okay. And I still, it's great. I recommend it.
On that note, if you need to get a hold of us for any rhyme or reason, you can do so at
onlybeingkpop@gmail.com. Also, if you like this, please follow and share. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Bye.